let's talk about exclusive breastfeeding and what just a little bit of formula can do. Now, I want to preface this all by saying that I am so grateful that formula exists and that there are companies working on trying to make it better, because for some moms that aren't able to produce enough milk for their babies, don't have access to donor breast milk, it helps bridge the gap for those babies that would otherwise get really sick, ill, or even die. So I'm really glad that it's there to help bridge the gap. What I want to specifically address is those instances where we have the option to use mother's own breast milk or donor breast milk that's available to us, and what are the risks of choosing formula over breast milk if that's your goal. So a newborn's gut is really immature at birth. It's kind of what we would call leaky. There's junctions between the cells that are spaced out that can have things pass through, and it'll take several weeks for that leakiness to kind of close up. What happens with breastfeeding is that babies intake that first milk called colostrum, which has special properties called SIGA antibodies that help kind of coat and seal their gut, helps prevent those leaky areas from causing damage. And then it helps prepare the baby's gut for more mature food that's going to come later. What happens with formula is that if a baby has formula go through the gut instead of colostrum and those SIGA antibodies, which cannot be replicated, it actually leads to a leakier gut, which can lead to infection, diarrhea, even allergy development. And so the goal here is to get these babies exclusively on that colostrum breast milk to help seal that immature gut, especially in those first few weeks, to help prepare their bodies to receive more mature food. The other thing that can happen with formula introduction, even a little bit, is that it can really impact the normal gut flora. So I think by now a lot of us are well aware that there is such a thing as good and bad bacteria in our bodies called flora. So there's level of good bacteria, bad bacteria, and we like to keep it in balance. And it's the same way in an infant's gut. So their normal flora, good bacteria, bad bacteria, are in a really good balance, and when they're fed breast milk, their pH level, the acidity level, stays very low, which helps encourage those good bacteria to stay healthy and those bad bacteria to be suppressed and not cause disease. What happens when we introduce formula is it raises that gut pH and causes that good bacteria to go down, those bad bacteria to go up. And that environment can get disrupted even in the first week of life, and it might never actually reach its full potential. So it's not just one dose of formula that we're giving here and now. It may be impacting the development of their gut even for the rest of their life. The other thing to think about is that even if we give one bottle of formula, that pH level that I talked about, that acidity level, it drastically changes, like is almost indistinguishable compared to what an adult's gastrointestinal lining would be within 24 hours of one bottle of formula. So saying that one bottle doesn't matter is not actually evidence-based. The other thing we to think about is that if you do give your baby or your baby receives formula for some reason, it takes 2 to 4 weeks for that natural state of the good bacteria and bad bacteria to balance back out again. We don't share this to bring any shame or guilt if you've already supplemented with formula or if you're choosing not to exclusively breastfeed. My hope in sharing this is that if you find yourself in a situation where your decision is to breastfeed and you find supplementation necessary for some medical reason, that you have the information already before you need to make a decision on how you're going to supplement your baby. And hopefully this helps you understand that there is a difference between breast milk and formula, and that if somebody says even a little bit won't make a difference, it does make a difference. So make sure that you're making whatever decision you feel most comfortable with.